Dragon, Rocket Dragon, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon, Rocket Dragon. Yeah, that's right. Gotta get myself warmed up. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, I was going to save this one for Halloween, but, you know, well, maybe, just maybe, something else could replace it for the Halloween special. This what if. Yes, I don't usually do Dragon Ball related what ifs. Not Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball GT, not Dragon Ball Super. Nothing related to the movies. I don't usually do Dragon Ball related what ifs. But as my 142 new subscriber special, I guess I can do this as my 142 subscriber special because of the fact that, well, I all of a sudden got 142 subscribers, then it went down to 141, then it went back up to 142 like some random time in the middle of the day. Yeah, YouTube is weird. Like, all of a sudden I'm 142, now I'm 141, now I'm 142 again. Like, YouTube, make up your damn mind. Huh. You guys probably wondering, well, if you barely ever do any sort of like Dragon Ball What If, then what's the special occasion with this one? What exactly is it? Well, I'm glad you guys may or may have not asked. This is going to be one that changes a hell of a lot of shit. Like, when I was considering the story of Dragon Ball. And basically, everything goes as normal, with only slight hints that there's something off. But that more or less has something to do with Gohan's rage. You know, how he was talking to Cell about every time I would get angry, blah blah blah. It more or less causes a twitch to happen. But you know, Bulma and Krillin, seeing as they're all going to be together for the majority of basically the complete and whole entire trip, are going to be nice and not try to, you know, upset Gohan by mentioning the whole twitching thing that's going on. Even though it's quite obvious that the twitching is getting worse. And by worse, I mean it's becoming more, you know, I guess you could say prevalent. It's happening more, and it's getting more noticeable. But not to the point to where it looks like it would hurt him. It just, twitching is getting more noticeable, and it's happening more often. It doesn't really disrupt anything. And, well, it's just something that they, Krillin and Bulma, are indeed concerned about. Like, this is the part in Dragon Ball Z's story where they're going to Namek to basically wish upon the Dragon Balls, like all of their basically 69 friends, you know, back to life. The ones that basically got offed by Nappa. So, yeah, that happens. And about the whole thing with Zarbon, Dodoria, the whole thing with the Namekian village, and how Gohan got so pissed that he hit Dodoria. Well, whenever Gohan hits Dodoria in this, he knocks the dude out. He legit knocks him out. Like, Zarbon actually has to shake Dodoria somewhat in order for him to actually get back up. And Frieza has to tell Zarbon to shake Dodoria, because actually thinking that Dodoria might be dead. Because it honestly looks like he's dead. How hard he got hit. Krillin would be thinking, what got into Gohan there? He's known to be prone to anger before, but this is something different. Almost like Gohan is getting really angry. But again, he did see all that happened because of Dodoria. And they were able to save this one Namekian, called himself Dende. And it turns out Gohan's able to find himself solace in his friendship with Dende. It's like one of the only things that could possibly keep him together. Like this random outbursts of rage that have been popping up out of nowhere. That are worse than the first few ones that ended up happening. Everything else pretty much goes as in canon. Because there's really no all that much more moments where Gohan does any more of that rage stuff, like has a rage quit moment. It's all the way up until basically, yeah, Frieza. Basically, again you force her down, but now Frieza is something. Wondering why the hell everyone is dead. And not these scrubs. Basically, things go sort of like in canon. You know, only instead of Gohan's usual reaction, he seems to be doing a lot more twitching. And it's getting to the point where Krillin's beginning to think that Gohan is going to explode any minute now. And, well, gets to the point where Frieza's basically kicking the shit out of Vegeta, basically going on and on about the legendary Super Saiyan, and blah blah blah. That is until, Frieza finally takes him out all good time and shit. All good times. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas or some shit. Basically, if Vegeta's down for the count, and, well, Frieza, in his final form, realizes there's a little green annoyance that he doesn't want healing Vegeta. Because Saiyans only get stronger whenever they come back from the brink of death. That is something that Frieza knows Ironclad to be just ironclad as hell. they only get stronger after coming back after death. Pretty much after the brink of death. And that's basically where Vegeta is right now. And so, Frieza, one of the most basically unforgivable acts ever, Gohan, with Krillin doing his damnedest to hold him back so that he doesn't do something stupid. They both have to end up watching it happen. The beam crosses right through. It hits, strikes true. The little Namekian boy, no more. Frieza, having a gay old time just taking down Vegeta, and now this Namekian loser. Frieza basically is basically in the middle of taking out his frustrations, and every single last one of these, well, pests that he's seemed to have found that somehow managed to revive the Ginyu Force, and not only that, beat them. Frieza, however, does indeed realize something. Well, let's just say, I don't remember any of the Ginyu Force's scouters being broken in the midst of anything. Sure, they may have been blasted, aka Jace versus Vegeta, but that doesn't go for all of them. So Frieza would indeed go to find a scouter off of one of the Ginyu Force's bodies. Member of the Ginyu Force. Basically, Raccoon was in one of the most humiliating positions ever. So instead of going for Raccoon, Frieza went to take the scouter off of Birder. Because even if he couldn't sense that, he could taste that. Something was not right. Frieza should be feeling overjoyed, not feeling this almost like a sense of uneasiness. Like whatever he just did now was a big mistake. And if you're wondering why it was a big mistake, well, flashback time. Flashback straight before Frieza came into the picture. Porunga was summoned, and, well, basically, Vegeta was basically holding Dende hostage. And, well, he was the only one who could really speak to Porunga, about the whole wish. And, well, basically, from the time that, let's just say from the little time of peace that Gohan and Dende did get to spend time with each other, Gohan did learn some Namekian, native Namekian language. And what he learned? He actually has a very extensive vocabulary in Namekian now. Basically, telling Dende to wish, basically, doesn't even tell Dende. He actually speaks it in Namekian himself. Because now that he has that, whole Namekian tongue, basically knowing the Namekian language from the time he had with Dende, And no, don't anybody be thinking any dirty thoughts. Shame on you if you are. Anyways, Gohan would just speak his wish in the Namekian tongue, and Porunga would just be like, in the Namekian tongue, say, "Your wish has been granted." Because they used the first two wishes, the first one to bring Piccolo back to life, and the second one to bring Piccolo to Namek. So the third one, Gohan used for something, to make sure that neither Vegeta or Frieza could get it. You notice that this wasn't exactly the most wholesome or, good guy thing to do, but, Gohan thinking, kind of using his think tank, like, basically realizing that with not that much time for, Guru left to live, and Guru being the one, like, with the connection to Porunga and all. So with not that much time left, Gohan realizing the urgency of the situation, and seeing as he definitely does not want either Frieza or Vegeta getting immortality, he, in a split second of desperation, not really knowing what good this would actually do, but, well, even if it didn't really do all that much good in the first place, it wouldn't matter, because at least they wouldn't get their wish. Either of them. Gohan doesn't trust Frieza, and doesn't trust Vegeta. He doesn't trust Vegeta, and he definitely doesn't trust Frieza. And, well, so basically, what happens whenever, Gohan, basically, what happens with Dende gets shot with the death beam, Gohan's whole wish thing comes into fruition. Because it's almost like whenever Gohan made the wish in Namekian, he had this kind of like Ultra Instinct Omen type aura coming off of him. That basically, well, Vegeta was indeed angry, but for some reason, he didn't have it in him to kill Gohan while he was exuding this aura. He had been exuding the aura ever since, so Vegeta still hasn't made an attempt to kill Gohan for, making it so that he didn't have his wish of immortality. And besides, no one even knew what, Gohan's wish was. That it was basically, seeing as Gohan basically, he felt he had not much left time to actually think, that he just rushed for the first thing that came into his mind, and just so happened to be immortality. Because, basically Vegeta wanted it, Frieza wanted it, so Gohan, almost out of a split second of, like some sort of anxiety and, panic attack, he wished for it, so that they couldn't have it. Yes, that's right. And Porunga granted the wish, so technically Gohan is immortal. And that's why the aura was coming off of, him. Finally releasing all of Gohan's, inner, like, rage. But in a way that's kind of concealed around him like a barrier. Kind of like what happened with like 17, Android 17. And basically, Vegeta, well, wouldn't really have much time for much because he would be dying as of now, and with no one to really heal him because Dende was dead, and Krillin just being scared out of his mind. Piccolo now just getting onto the scene because Frieza, just out of all of his rage, would have escalated his transforming a lot faster. So there would be no Piccolo versus second form Frieza. He would just be escalating the rate in which he was transforming faster and faster, the more hatred like his heart was filled with. And so by the time the Piccolo actually got there, like, he would already be at fourth form. Not fourth form 100%, but he would indeed still be at fourth form. So there's really not much hope. Plus, like, Goku's still asleep. So basically everyone's freaking out, except for Gohan and Frieza, because Frieza really doesn't give a shit about anything right now, except for the fact that now that he has a scouter, and you click, like, beep, 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 doop, doop, and basically, Frieza does like a click, click, just to like make sure, like, you go through like everything through the scouter, like all the programming, and he ends up finding out that, hey, the scouter isn't broken. Power level he's sensing off the kid can't read it. It's like the scouter knows what the power level is, it's just not able to register something that high. It's almost like in the midst of their fight with Goku, Berter and Jace kind of like damaged their scouters internally. And then Vegeta just obliterated Jace, so it's not like his scouter was going to be intact, so that's why Frieza, basically could steal it from Jace, because all of Jace was obliterated. So whenever Frieza ends up figuring this out, like, that there was already damage done to Berter's scouter, just like with the rest of the Ginyu Force's scouters, like there was, like, the damage was already done. So, Frieza's just like, whatever power level this kid has, it's definitely not normal. It seems to only be rising. But that could indeed be a result of an after effect of whatever you wished for. And Gohan would just be like, and that's the funny part, Frieza. Immortality. Now neither you or Vegeta can get it. I decided that since I didn't trust either of you, I wouldn't let either of you have immortality. So, in Namekian, I wished for immortality. And basically, this would basically make Frieza fire a ki blast, basically towards Dende's dead corpse. However, Gohan will get over there, and he got right in front of the blast. And, he would just bat the ki blast away, and it would fire off into a mountain, blowing it up. And Frieza would just be like, what? What is this? And Gohan would just be like, Frieza. Frieza, you have no idea what you've just done. Frieza, you just let loose a beast. Beast inside of me. You. And that's whenever, almost like in a hissing tone, a deep, dark, grumbling, hissing tone, you would hear the words, "Thank you." Right before he would just get smacked all the way into a mountain from a force, some sort of crazy force that he couldn't even see. And basically, he would have been smacked so hard he would come out the other side all the way into a lake. And so Frieza would just be flying out of the lake and be like, "Gah. I don't even care what your power level is anymore." Then again, there is always the off chance that one of the pods is a spare one. That's what Frieza would do. He would basically just super speed all the way over to one of the pods, and indeed there would be a spare scatter in Genyu's pod. And then Frieza would speed back over there, only to be met with a punch to the gut, and then a kick to the face, sending him back into the water, with Gohan catching the scatter, and only whenever Frieza came back up would the scatter be thrown, and Frieza just barely being able to catch it, with both of his hands and his tail, helping with like the whole leverage of the situation. And, well, Frieza would just be like, "Okay, your power level." And then all of a sudden, he'd be met with a kidney punch, and then a kick to the groin, sending him all the way up into the mountain, colliding with it as a ki blast would then basically be sent flying towards him as it would envelop him, and Frieza would basically be burning inside the ki blast right before it self-destructed. And basically the spare scouter, would go flying as Vegeta, barely alive, would just barely be able to catch the damn thing. As he would put it on, for some reason, he didn't exactly know why he felt compelled to put it on. And well, he just goes to check for Gohan's power level. He knows he's basically making a rough guesstimate that Frieza's power level in his fourth form is probably something around 60 million. Around this time. In which an accidental check on Frieza's power level proves that Vegeta's right. Frieza's power level at this time is indeed 60 million. And well, Vegeta just goes like, considering the way Frieza's behaving, his power level at 100% would probably be something along the likes of 120 million. Ugh. Damn. None of us are even anywhere close to that power. We're all screwed. Then there is still the kid. And he's been basically slapping Frieza silly ever since that little green kid was offed by him. Almost like he really did awaken a monster, a beast within. And that's whenever Vegeta would finally check on Gohan's power level, or at least try to. Something would spark up, and it would almost be like a scour glitched. As Frieza would go to make a little coy remark, "Ah, yes. Vegeta thinks by looking at our power levels, he can find a way to save the day. Oh, how pathetic. Might I remind you that if it wasn't for Vegeta, you probably wouldn't have to be here in the first place. Well, Vegeta and Nappa, but that's beside the point. Besides, Nappa was never the smart suit out of the two in the first place." Basically, Frieza's little remark on the entire existence of Vegeta on planet Earth previously basically caused Gohan to just turn his head over towards Vegeta and, well, basically be like, and he would basically start beating on the ground, beating into it, carving his very fingers into it like there were claws, ripping away at the very fabric of the landscape of planet Namek, ripping it apart, almost like some sort of drilling straight through the very heart of the planet at the rate he's going. More and more power he pumps into himself, the more and more it becomes concentrated into this drilling motion, to where his fingers just keep on making it and keep on going down, down, down. Vegeta would just be like, "What are you mad about me for? Frieza's the one you should be trying to kill. Stupid brat." Gohan would just be like, "Me? One stupid? Then why are you the one on the ground, Veggie?" And this would basically happen right before Gohan's eyes would start to light up as two beams would come out, one from each eye, and they would pierce straight through Vegeta's heart, instantly killing him. And isn't this subsequent blast that Gohan, ended up killing Vegeta, that his appearance changed completely? He now had hair that resembled what Dragon Ball Super's Super Saiyan Blue looked like, and his eyes were like Fleetway Supersonic's eyes, but instead of red swirls, they were blue swirls, and the same color as the hair of Super Saiyan Blue. And he had a crazed smile that could go from just a simple smirk to all the way ear to ear, if you wanted to. And his very aura itself, it was uncontainable. It was wild, furious, like nothing Frieza had ever witnessed before. Even hearing stories from his father about Beerus and Majin Buu, this was nothing like either of them, at least from what his father had told him. This was hell on earth for Frieza. Looking into those spiral eyes, all he saw was his own death being played back straight towards his eyes, stuck in a limbo of just seeing a repeat of his own death over and over again. Only every time he saw his death, the way in which he died would get worse every time. And it would always be at the hands of this child. Gohan, was it? And then he would hear a voice in his head, sounding like the voice that was heard right before they killed Vegeta and completely transformed. Gohan's hair now being in the more Saiyan Saga style hair of Gohan. No longer in the Namek Saga style, but more Saiyan Saga like. As it was longer, however, it did not have any sort of headband tied around it. It was free to flow. Wild and deranged. Psychotic. Sadistic. The voice would say, "It's not Gohan anymore. The name is Blue. And we're here to kill you." Or, if you'd rather prefer, as then Blue would appear in front of Frieza, or at least who had called himself Blue, basically appear in front of Frieza and have his hand out in front of his chest and do some sort of a strange attack that would send him all the way back to his first form, or at least what people considered to be his first form. Frieza, seeing that he was changed back to this form, the only thing in his mind would be a racing sense of fear. And then, out from the black void, Frieza would snap back to reality, and then fall to the ground, crawling backwards, and then eventually scurrying along, faster and faster. But you'll realize that it did nothing to close the gap in between the two. Blue, as he was now known by Frieza, just kept on coming. He kept on coming and didn't stop. However, this energy that emanated from Blue did something. It flashed several images that would usually be from the canon. The death of Vegeta, the death of Dende, and eventually the death of Krillin. Which, it's not exactly like Gohan wouldn't oblige, automatically pulling a Rose Goku Black and basically making an energy hand blade, picking Krillin up, and before Piccolo could even respond, slicing into his chest, straight through, cleaving his heart in half. Piccolo, too petrified in fear to respond to any of this, as Frieza would try to slink away to Genyu's pod, in which he would do his best to try and use it to get the hell away from planet Namek finds somewhere where he can get away from this monster. Frieza was, for the first time in his life, truly feeling fear. And that's whenever Blue simply regressed himself back into the very existence of Gohan himself. Gohan then, just barely rising up from the essence of Blue himself, Gohan barely able to actually say anything, barely able to mumble out, "Frieza, this is your one chance. Either you learn from your mistakes, or you die. It's your choice. I can't even believe I have enough strength left in my body, soul and mind, and spirit to give you this chance. How you don't even know how much it hurts fighting him. It hurts like a bitch. That's how much it hurts. Yet, I'm still doing it because I don't know why I'm doing it, but I am. And I feel like I'm going to regret it in the future. However, the future is in the future. However, we're in the now, and the now is in the now. So, I guess there's no other way else to say it. Leave while you still have the chance. Or do you want to die by the hand of my sadistic other half? The sadist monster that he is. And basically, Frieza would take that as a sign that he needs to GTFO straight off of planet Namek as soon as possible. Basically, all of the premonitions that Goku had inside the healing tank caused him to enter Super Saiyan. And the transformation of Super Saiyan basically blew up the healing tank. And, well, Goku would be able to sense that Krillin was dead, Vegeta was dead, Dende was dead. However, Gohan was slowly regressing back to his, well, as normal as possible state. Just now realizing what he had done. He ended Vegeta's suffering, and he straight up, in cold blood, murdered the best friend of his father. For no reason other than just because. And, well, basically, they would all just get Bulma, because, Bulma is, like, all by herself. And so they just find her, and, they get everyone, and, they get them to be able to go back to Earth, basically. And they use the Earth Dragon Balls to basically fix the whole situation with planet Namek and its people. Basically, they didn't really need to make a new Namek, so the whole wish about new Namek wasn't really needed. Well, Gohan basically ends up making a wish that basically he wants to know, like, the reason for his, like, new sadistic half's existence. Like, to Gohan, this is like kid Gohan, not like teen Gohan, not like adolescent Gohan. This is like kid Gohan, like back in the Frieza saga. To, to Gohan, he doesn't understand the full reason for his sadistic other half's existence. He doesn't have true comprehension of the why and the what and the where and the who, whenever it comes to Blue, is basically what he's called himself. And, basically, Purunga tells him that, not Purunga, they're back at Earth, using the Earth Dragon Balls, damn it. Shenron tells Gohan that, basically, Blue is basically the manifestation of, well, Gohan's, everything whenever it comes to basically as soon as Gohan could actually, actually do something like that whole thing, that one flashback where Gohan headbutted that tree so hard it put a hole in it. As far back as that, like, all of Gohan's, like, viciousness and, like, Saiyanness inside of him, like, all of that, every single last bit of Gohan's, like, other side to him, like, there's the kind and loving, pure-hearted boy who just wants for everybody, like, to be like a happy family and all that shit. And then there's the side which has now been dubbed Blue. This side is basically the manifestation of all of Gohan's rage built up over the years. And because of the nature of the wish and how much it contrasts with the other side of Gohan that was making the wish, Gohan wasn't in the side of, like, rage. Gohan was in the side of just, hurrying up so that they could still make a third wish, before Guru died. He was just panicked. Not really angry, he was just panicked. So, really, it just contrasted with the part that would be more suited for the wish. Usually, whenever you think someone whispering for someone like wishing for immortality, you would think someone, devious and like some sort of villain of sorts. Not someone as pure-hearted as Gohan, especially whenever he was a child. But, Gohan making the wish, and especially not being in his rage, state, whenever he made the wish, that basically it turned all of his rage inside out because, all of that part of his mind didn't know what to make of the situation. And so something was formed, something to make sense of all of it. Or maybe make its own, type of personality. Because Gohan's rage is so uncontrollable that even the rage trying to, like, figure out what's going on would end up backfiring on itself. And so, an entire new personality was created. And this new personality wasn't even a new personality, it was a new being in itself. A whole new being in itself. And that new being called Blue. And, well, the only other thing that Shenron can really tell Gohan on the whole matter of Blue's existence, well, is that whatever he does, try to not ever get in a rage mode again, because if you do, it won't be like your normal rage mode. Blue will take over, and you will have done something that you did not want to do. Basically, Gohan, whenever he goes into his rage mode, he just, beats people up. He just beats the bad guy up. But, Blue is not the normal rage mode. Blue is much worse. Blue is literally like if you had 1,000 Zarbombas all aimed at a certain continent, and you were just like waiting for the time when to push the button and release all of them, release a malaria outbreak at the same time. Like several malaria outbreaks. Basically, the closest thing I can compare Blue to, basically, the only real comparison that you can really be compared to is, well, basically, what Shenron tells Gohan is that, well, basically, whatever happens, he's only going to get stronger. No matter the rage level that he's at whenever it happens, at the moment he does get into the rage transformation, he better have a hell of a lot of mental fortitude in order to keep back Blue's power. Because every time that he transforms into Blue again, the transformation will be stronger than the last time he transformed. Basically, the Scouter reading, whenever the Scouter actually read Blue's power level, it was 500 million. Not 60 million, not 120 million, not 300 million like Super Saiyan. 500 million. So, Super Saiyan Goku would have just got clapped by, Blue. At that moment right there. Because Goku right there, as a Super Saiyan, is 150 million. To 300 million. I believe it was 300 million was Super Saiyan. Whenever he first turned Super Saiyan. And basically, this first time that Gohan turns into Blue, he has a power level of 500 million. And so basically, Shenron telling him, you better make sure you can control that rage of yours, because every time you turn into him again, the transformation will get stronger than the last time it was used. Regardless if you had consent or not. Regardless of your consent, it will still be stronger than the last time. And not only that, but Blue, overall, is basically the Dragon Ball Z equivalent of Carnage. And if you want to know if you basically don't know what I'm talking about, basically, psychopath plus sociopath equals Blue. He cares no Fs, and he gives no Fs. He literally does not care about pretty much mostly anything. And, well, the only thing he really wants is to, he has actually several things that he wants. But some of those things, even Blue realizes, are going to be harder to get than others. And so now Gohan realizes he has his own separate personality from him, because of the fact that he panicked and did something pretty much basically that, Gohan's wondering if perhaps, seeing how powerful new Namek's Porunga could possibly be, like if, Porunga there could possibly undo the wish, Shenron would just be like, yeah, no. Yeah. Blue is the type of being you summoned up whenever you just gave in to everything and, summoned up Blue from your entire essence. The type of being you created is not something that we eternal dragons can just get rid of like it's nothing. This guy, Blue, your other personality, your other consciousness, is stronger than both me and Porunga combined, like several times over. So yeah, good luck with that, mortals. Good luck with that. Bye. Look, all the Dragon Balls separate. And, well, yeah, now Gohan has to live with that. The fact that, well, now he has to watch his rage even more. Because now, oh, if you just think it's going to happen whenever Gohan gets mad, oh no. Possibly, it's a good possibility that it could even have to do something with sleep, even. Like his sleeping schedule. He'll get screwed over because of this. So yeah, this is like the 142 subscriber special. I was just doing this because I realized having this as the Halloween, Halloween special, Halloween's quite far away. And plus, I actually have 2 ideas for, crazy Dragon Ball characters. And besides, the other idea I have is actually an entire series where that's an actual transformation. I'm not saying that Blue isn't. No, Blue definitely is a transformation. Because, Gohan can transform into Blue anytime that he gets angry. Or if Blue actually has enough willpower over Gohan to actually make him subservient to him, in which Blue will have complete control and be able to, be in the outside world. Which that's a big bad. That's a lot of bad. So yeah, this is not something I'm used to. Though there is the what if Pan had the Carnage symbiote what if. I'm still gonna pretty much say that, and well, the big 3, say at Christmas, is the big 3, not Dragon Ball. It's the big 3. Sure, Dragon Ball is involved, but it's not strictly Dragon Ball and something else. It's the big 3. Never mind about that. I don't do too many Dragon Ball what ifs. Or at least Dragon Ball related ones. I don't do too many of those because, I don't find too many times in the day whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I should definitely have this as content on my channel. I couldn't even find a picture of, actual kid Gohan. Like, the picture, the thumbnail is of Teen Gohan. And I wanted it to be of Kid Gohan, but there's no 1920 to by, like 1080, JPEG pictures of Kid Gohan. And that sucks because this is the Gohan we're at now. Just, at the cusp, like the end of the Frieza saga. So yeah, just at the tail end of Season 3. So yeah, that sucks royally. That I couldn't find an appropriate picture. But I tried to find one, at least whenever looking at ones of Teen Gohan, I tried to look for ones like that had like a special effect, like some sort of lightning or like special energy that looked to be the style of, the character that is being, talked about in this first part. The lightning in the thumbnail is blue, and the character's name is blue, so now I guess you guys know what I'm talking about, and I'm just gonna stop because, oh my god, this is awkward.